Everyone. Aaron over here. Obviously, we've been covering you for a long time, and it seems like every interview, every media day, it's always, when are you going to go to the UFC? What do you think about fill in the blank UFC champion? But, now that you're only a couple days away from actually being able to call yourself a UFC fighter, I guess, what's the whole fight week been like for you?
Yeah, it's been amazing fight week and being finding a balance of telling myself, wow, it's so surreal to be here finally, and after all the years of the ups and downs, to be in a place where I've always wanted to be, and I'm just really enjoying it and taking it all in and meeting all the new staff, and I'm the only thing I can say, it's just it's been good.
When Patchy did his first media day, we talked, and he was saying, over the last X amount of years, it's always, I train MMA, and the fans are always like, oh, you're in the UFC, and like they had never heard of Bellator, PFL, or anything like that. So, have you gotten that same treatment, and now you can finally say, like, I am a UFC fighter?
Yeah, that's it's always funny to explain to somebody that just doesn't get it. I have a funny story. My son is 4 years old, and we watch the fights all the time. And when I told him, Dad's gonna fight in the UFC on TV, he said, "Wow, Dad, you're finally a professional." And I said, "Yeah, Dad's finally a professional," and it's funny. But now it's gonna be. I don't really tell people, like when I'm out in public. They always ask me, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" And I just say, "Oh, I'm an artist," and I don't go into detail. But then if they pry, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a fighter." But then you tell them, "Oh, I fight." Back then, I fought for this organization. They're like, "Oh, okay, so you're one day you'll be in the UFC." I say, "Yeah, one day I'll be in the UFC." And now, if I get that question, it just, "Yeah, I'm a UFC fighter." The conversation is like, "Oh, wow, you're big time," and blah blah blah. But it feels good.
You're also kind of in a unique situation compared to the Chandlers, the MVPs, and the Patches that came over, where you only fought for Bellator, PFL. Like you made your debut there, you didn't really have the other regional scene. So I guess has it kind of been surreal to? This really is the first time you've not been involved in a Bellator fight week.
Yeah, I started my career. My first fight was Madison Square Garden, and we all know how that went. I can laugh about it now, but back then it wasn't funny. But yeah, I haven't had an easy road to get here. I really had to dig deep and ask myself, is this something that I really want to do? And the answer was always yes. There was never an option to quit. I always knew I was going to be in the UFC. I just didn't know when. And I think everything aligned the way it was supposed to since the beginning of my career to where I'm at now. And I have a lot of work ahead of me, but mentally and physically, I'm ready for all of it.
Obviously you're supposed to fight Movzar in Abu Dhabi, and now it's Lerone. Has this kind of felt like just kind of one long fight camp for you? Because I'm sure by the time Movzar pulled out, you were kind of peaking at some point, and then you had to peak again for an entirely different opponent, an entirely different part of the world. So I guess just how's the process been preparing for Lerone now?
Yeah, and my coach Greg Jackson preaches that a lot, is staying in the process, and fights being canceled is part of the process, and I didn't get too worried about it. Hunter and I had a good conversation, and he said that I'm going to book you as fast as possible. I think I'm going to ask Lerone Murphy if he can fight. So I knew that August 16th was a maybe. So I kept pretty strict on my diet and took a few days off just to let the body heal, because I was preparing for August 26th, and my weight was getting low. So it was actually a good timing. I called my strength and conditioning coach, Sam Calavita, and asked him what do I need to do with the calories and this. And we came up with a good game plan, and I'm glad I'm fighting August 16th because I'm in better shape now than I was even preparing for the Abu Dhabi card.
And what do you make of Lerone as an opponent? Because obviously he's like an undefeated guy. He's had some big wins. The last two, maybe fans think could have gone either way. Some people thought Josh and Ige won those fights. So I guess what do you make of his skill set as a whole?
What I make of his skill set is he's 16-0 for a reason, undefeated in the UFC. He's fought some really tough guys. Yeah, my team and I have our work cut out for us for Saturday, and I'm not coming in here, taking him lightly. And he has 16 fights, and I have just as many as he does, and I didn't start in the regional scene where I was fighting, in backyards or whatever. I've been on the big stage my whole career, so I'm ready for this moment. I just have to do my job Saturday and take care of business.
Aaron, you mentioned the work you did with Sam Calvita at the training lab. You had Khamzat and Arman Tsarukyan around you as well. Can you just explain what that was like for you, and if you got to do much work with those guys, how did that elevate your mental and fighting game?
Well, it was an honor to train with those guys. I think their mindset. I understand why they're the best in the world. Arman's number one. Khamzat's fighting for a world championship on Saturday, and it's really nice to be around guys that have the same mindset as you, meaning that when they come to train, it's all business. They're trying to be the very best, and when it came time to compete with exercises and things like that, we were trying to beat each other, and it just elevated our game, and we really pushed each other. And on another note, I want to say is that they're just really nice guys. Khamzat, I think he is a killer, and he wants to just maul people. But when you get to have a conversation with him, you see how he interacts with people, and he's a very kind man. And that was the biggest thing for me that I respect the most. And same with Arman. When I would ask him, "Hey, can you come drill with me?" He's like, "Yes, I'll be there." And he doesn't have to do that. So, yeah, they push themselves and they're killers, but they're also very just genuine, good human beings. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah, I assume you believe in Khamzat and that he's going to win this fight. How do you think he wins? And I guess now seeing it firsthand in the training room, how unstoppable and difficult to deal with is his wrestling going to be for Dricus?
Yeah, he's a problem. I think he can get a submission. But I know if it goes 5 rounds, he has the cardio in him to push the pace on Dricus, and that's not an easy task. But he really has taken this training camp serious, from what I see, and really tried to push his body to the limit. And I think he's just going to go out there and do his best, and I think he can get the submission.
And there's a few people at featherweight who feel they probably have a claim to a title shot, and the winner of this fight may be one. And it seems you have got Alexander Volkanovski's attention. I know you said to Fox Sports Australia you would knock him out. He replied to that. I don't know if you heard it. He said, "I reckon I'd crumble him in the wrestling department. His best bet is to try and land a big shot. Other than that, I mop the floor with him." So I guess what's your response to that? And at least you have his attention, it seems.
Well, it would be 5 rounds, so I think I'm going to land a left hook or a right hand, so I can put him out. But I'm the new guy in this organization, and I'm just going to be up front. And to have his attention, that's a good thing. But I have to take care of Lerone Murphy. That's all I'm focused on. But Volkanovski, has it coming. Yeah, he's not an easy guy to fight, and I'm aware of that. And I look at who he's fought as far as the high-level wrestlers. He's never fought a high-level wrestler like me, and your time is coming.
Is there any indication from the UFC, if you win this fight the way I'm sure you want to and are dreaming of, that you could get the title shot after this?
No, the only thing is go out there and do your job, and there is going to be big things ahead of you, and that's all I've been told, and that's all I'm focused on.
And just to follow up on Volkanovski, obviously, Saturday has to come first. I understand that's your focus, but to come into the UFC is obviously a massive dream and a goal for you. But then to be able to fight for the title against a man like Alex Volkanovski, possibly the best ever in this division's history, how exciting is that? Not just to fight for a UFC belt, but to fight a GOAT of the division. How exciting is that?
Yeah, that's really exciting. It's a guy that gets me out of bed in the morning. Every practice that I would go to, he would be on my mind. I want to fight Volk one day, and it's actually music to my ears for him to say, "Yeah, I'll mop the floor with him." I keep with that mindset. To be honest with you, keep underestimating me, because while you're doing that, I'm in the gym just getting better and better and working. When I wake up, I'm thinking, how do I take you out? And And that puts a big smile on my face to see that he replied to that.
In a way, he's almost kind of doing you a favor, right? By singling you out, he's almost putting it out there that, hey, if you win, this could be the one. This might sound like a weird question because I believe you're incredibly skilled, but are you happy to almost take a little longer, get your feet wet in the UFC, experience this stage a bit more? Or are you ready, like, hey, if he calls me out, I'm fighting Volkanovski as soon as possible?
No, Volkanovski, we win this fight, we fight Volkanovski. Why am I gonna go through the ringer and take fight these guys and maybe something happen to postpone a title fight? I'm in a good position. I get the win. I go straight to the top. If the bosses say that, and any time you get a phone call saying, "Hey, you're fighting for the belt," I would never say, "Well, let me get my feet wet a little bit more," because there's risks that come involved, training camps and this. If there's a clear path to fighting for the belt, then I'm gonna take it.
Aaron, right here, brother. Obviously, like some guys, they have, they feel the pressure making their UFC debuts and things like that. I wanted to ask about as far as the MMA fan base, because I feel like you're kind of in a similar scenario to Patchy Mix. When he was coming in with Mario Batista, the fans weren't happy with Batista. They were cheering Patchy Mix. And then the fight went the way it did, and they completely flipped on him. They were booing him. They were calling him all sorts of things. I feel like you're kind of coming into that same scenario. Like with Murphy's last fight, people were booing him in the apex. So I feel like you're going to come on stage and you're going to be the guy because they want to see Lerone Murphy lose after the last fight. So do you think like about the interactions with fans and the way that the script can flip so quickly and the pressure that it can add, or does it not faze you at all?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there is pressure. I put a lot of pressure on myself to compete at the highest level, and the work that I put in is a lot, and it comes with pressure. But I don't really think too much about that as far as what the fans are thinking, and you can't please everyone, and MMA fans are brutal. So I don't read too much comments or anything like that. I focus on what I can control, and I go out there and get a big win. The fans will be happy. But to answer your question, if they are booing him and they're on my side, I'm not mad at that. Of course, I want the fans on my side, especially being here in America, and he's coming over from England. So to have the fans on my side is a plus.
All right, just one from here. People are looking at the Pitbull, his debut, Patchy's debut, and just kind of going off what he asked. They kind of scoff at another Bellator guys coming in and everything. What's your message to people that doubt that you belong in the elite at 145 pounds?
I don't really have a message for them, but all I can say is that they're Patchy and all those and Pitbull are incredible fighters, but I'm Aaron Pico. And watch Saturday night, and that's all. That's the message I have for you, is just watch.
Hey, Aaron.
Yes,
Just
sir.
to go back on Sam Calavida real quick, but we hear a lot of the fact that he's a former math teacher. Everything he does is so specific, so math-based, and everything is monitored. Can you explain exactly how it works? So when you come to camp with him, he takes a lot of different values of your VO2 max and stuff like that, and every day he checks it, tells you about it, and at the end of the training camp you have a lot of different things that you progressed on. How does it work exactly, his method?
That's a good question. I can't speak on that. You'll have to ask him, but it's very detailed, and if you want to be at the highest level as far as cardio, food, and get your body to a place it's never been before, go to the training lab and see firsthand. But I can't speak on that, to be honest with you.
You debuted in 2017, and you were the Bellator prodigy. Now 8 years later, you're in the UFC. How would you describe your journey here?
How would I describe my journey? Well, it's been a tough one. I didn't have an easy path to get here. I took some big losses, and kind of doubted for a lot of years, can I do this? But I stayed the course. I got better. I surrounded myself with really, really good coaches, Brandon Gibson and Greg Jackson and Sam Calavita, and I just got to work. And as you can see, my last 10 fights, I've won, and yeah, I'm a completely different fighter than I was in 2017, and I think the people are going to see that come Saturday.
Last question. Aaron, finish this sentence. Don't blink because...
Left hook's coming.